And we are live. Welcome to episode 142 of the Canadian Prepper Podcast, recorded December 19th, 2021. I'm Alan. I am the stand-in voluntold host for the show. I'm a safety trainer, first responder, security expert, and overall safety nerd.
And I'm Jeff. I'm based in Central Ontario. I'm a target shooter, ham radio operator, and general overall handyman.
Hey guys, I'm Brad. I'm in Eastern Ontario. I've been in preparedness in some way, shape, or form since the ice storm of '98. Consider myself a part-time amateur prepper and always trying to better myself.
My name's Pierre. I'm a mechanic for a living. I fix stuff. I shoot, and I heard tonight was going to be drinking involved, so I volunteered for this one. I'm normally on a different one.
Hey Pierre.
If you want to help support the show and keep the Canadian Prepper Podcast on the air, buy some swag. We have both the Canadian Prepper Podcast t-shirt and the super wicked awesome cool tactical Velcro patch at www.prepperpodcast.ca. All proceeds help keep the lights on, the backup generator fueled, and maybe we'll throw some dollars at Ian so that he gets home at some point. Poor Ian.
If you're enjoying the show, please take a few minutes to like us on Facebook and submit a review on iTunes. Also, we want your feedback, good or bad, or just if there's a topic you want us to cover, you can email us at feedback@prepperpodcast.ca.
And you'll notice that Eric is not here tonight. He decided that I guess working was more important than coming on the show. I don't know what his deal is. But the dad jokes don't stop despite his absence. So we have some BS content for you tonight. We're going to start off with some recent news, update on our personal preps, and then we'll get into our main topic. Just a general chat. Fireside chats with Jeff and Brad. So into the news, I put an article in here. I was looking for something that was, not COVID related because, boy, I think we're all getting tired of hearing that. So I found an article from, I forget where, Halifax. There's actually a new study that's happening where we're exploring what new galaxies might be out there. So there's all kinds of stuff going on, way further beyond what we can see, and it's kind of interesting to see where we are and where we are going and where we could go. And it would be, sometimes it's nice to fantasize about whether or not we could leave this world behind.
And I just couldn't stay away from the sort of COVID related stuff. So basically, I've just got an article. As everybody knows, we've talked about it on a few episodes about the supply chain and how fragile the supply chain is right now. So apparently in early January, all federally regulated truck drivers have to be vaccinated in order to cross the border. General estimates are on the Canadian side, that's going to affect 10 to 20% of the truck drivers. On the American side, it could be up to 30 to 35%. So, I mean, as we all know pretty well, anything that you touch, wear, eat, whatever, somewhere along the line, a truck's been involved in it. So, it's going to be interesting. We'll see what happens. But they're trying to fight it in the States. I don't know what they're doing in Canada. I don't think anything. But we'll just have to see what happens. Make sure you've got some stuff stocked up. If it goes bad, we've got maybe 2 or 3 weeks worth of stock, and then you're going to start seeing empty shelves.
Yeah, it's I don't think this problem's going away anytime soon, which is it's interesting.
Yeah. So is this vaccine mandate or whatever for just let's say Canadian ones, like Canadian truckers? Because I know there was a mandate where I know people that even though if one truck crosses the border into the States, all truck drivers had to have a mandate to be vaccinated to keep that status. So is this just talking about like Canadian ones or American ones, or is this just something?
It's both. My understanding. I'm not a 100% expert on this, but basically, the federal mandate for trucks was, well, for any business, federally regulated business, which trucks fall under, anybody over 100 employees had to be vaccinated. That came from Biden. So all you got to do is think about the big United States trucking companies like Challenger, JB Hunt, those kind of ones. They're over 100 employees. They're all going to have to be vaccinated. And there is a mandate from Canada. I believe it kicks in the 22nd of January that if a truck driver is going to cross the border, they have to provide proof of vaccination. Any truck driver. Right now, they can provide, I believe they can provide just the PCR test or the rapid test or whatever. That's out. You're going to have to provide proof of vaccination.
So this article specifically references Canadian truck drivers entering the U.S.
It does both. Actually, it talks a little bit about both. I don't have it right up in front of me, but I could plop it up there. But
Yeah, but I thought this was like old news.
I got it.
Or was it just something that was mentioned and like hasn't been pushed forward in a little bit, and now they're kicking it to the front page?
Well, before it's been on-road truck drivers have been exempt. And this is from, I'm trying to see the date on this. It doesn't have a date on it, but it's December 8th. So this is as of,
I was going to say it's very recent.
Yeah.
Okay, I just plopped it
so
up.
as of last week, it's been a change where because as of now, truck drivers have been exempt, but they are but now that's no longer the case. The exemption is gone.
Okay, I didn't know there was an exemption or whatever, because I know one or two people that work in the trucking industry, and only one of their drivers goes across, and everybody had to get it, even though they don't cross the border. So that's why I was curious if it was something fairly new. But I mean,
okay.
we're also
So the mandate is new. The the reality is changing. That's all.
Yeah, it just says the change comes as Canada prepares a mandate that will require border crossing truck drivers to prove they're vaccinated by January 15th. U.S. regulators have announced a similar plan to take effect January 22nd.
Okay. That's not.
What else we have for news, guys? I know Pierre and Brad were kind of last-minute additions to the panel, so totally reasonable if you don't have anything there.
I haven't had time to watch the news at all.
Well, if that's the case, then perhaps
actually...
we should talk about what we've done lately for preps, if you've been busy. It's a hell of a segue, Brad. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I took advantage of some of the warm weather this week. Central Ontario, we were plus 16. There was no snow on the ground till yesterday. We got about 5 centimeters, but so hopefully, I hope we have a white Christmas, and being a snowmobiler, we get a ton more. But hey, we'll leave it at that. And considering the weather was nice, I decided I would just split some more wood that I had laying around.
Nice.
Jeff and his wood never ends.
Yep.
How about you, Brad?
Do you burn a year, Jeff?
Pardon?
How much wood do you burn a year?
Depending on the weather, between 3 to 4.5 bush cord.
That's not bad.
That's my primary heat source.
Yeah.
I'm far enough out of town that I don't have any amenities. I don't have gas, so I've thought about propane. That may be in the future, but right now it's either electric baseboard or a wood stove.
Cool. No, I haven't done a whole lot for preps. I did like Jeff said, take advantage of some of the nice weather outside and did a little bit more cleaning up outside, and not a whole lot more. Been really busy. I leave when it's dark and I get home when it's dark. Try to take advantage of the in-between hours. That's about it.
And how about you, Pierre? What have you been up to lately?
Work.
Yeah,
no, coming up to the holidays. Yeah,
right.
Just work.
You shut down over Christmas?
Well, yeah, I get so I work 4 days this week. I work today. I'm off. I work 4 days, off 4 days, then work 3 days, off 3 days. So it kind of works out with my work schedule and stat holidays. So we've been moving around the house a little bit. So we crammed everything in the basement, and now we're trying to figure out how to turn around in the basement. So we've been doing a lot of indoor stuff, but we're slowly getting there. We're almost there.
Cool. And me, I started a new job this week, so I've been doing nothing but working, and that's about it. I've also been getting ready for Christmas. I'm hoping to have a few days off in between before I start a project that's going to keep me on the road. So it's been that kind of a week for prepping. I think we identified the source of that squealing. It seems to be coming from Pierre's place, Pierre's sound, Mike. So it's probably why you couldn't hear it on your headset, Pierre. So our main topic tonight, we decided that it was a good time to just kind of have a fireside chat and sit around and kind of shoot the breeze and see what's going on with everybody. It's been a heck of a year, and I'll start it off. I'm enjoying a super delicious Michelob Ultra. It's like a sex in a canoe of beer. So that's for me. How about you, Pierre? I see you've got a drink. What are you drinking?
I'm drinking some whiskey and a little bit of Pepsi.
And now we can't hear you.
Pierre, you're muted.
Can you hear me?
It's
Now
really
we can.
quiet now.
Well, I am muted. I don't know.
Oh, that's a little bit
You're
better.
just lower.
A little better. There we go.
Okay. I'm drinking some whiskey and a little bit of Pepsi.
Whiskey with Pepsi. Love that.
Yes.
How about you, Brad? What do we got?
Bacardi Dark with Pepsi in
Seems to be
a
a Pepsi night.
custom-made glass.
Ooh, fancy.
And now, would Pierre have anything to do with that custom-made glass?
Nope, his wife would.
Oh, the better half. Okay.
Yes.
And the one who put the. I'm assuming she is your wife, Melissa. She said you
Yes.
forgot the organizing of the house so we can get ready for canning and dehydrating stuff and shirt orders.
Yes.
And shirt orders.
Yes, we did a pre-order for the other CPP podcast, and we finally just got the last sweater. Everything looks good. So this week we're gonna finish them off and get them out in the mail for people that ordered them. So yeah, that's true. I forgot about all that.
Perfect.
It's been that busy. Jack. How about you, Jeff? What are you drinking tonight?
I'm drinking Mike's Hard White Freeze. And if you've never had
Love
it,
that
it is
stuff.
like a melted freezy.
Yes.
So
Very,
you're-
very dangerous.
You're trying to reclaim your youth or something with that?
I'm trying. It's not working, but I'm trying.
Jeff, you got to put one of those into the freezer. Like open the can, put it into a cup, put it in the freezer, and then drink it as a slushy. It's a whole lot better and a whole lot more dangerous.
Ooh,
I will take that into account.
I think that's a great idea.
That sounds
We've
like a
got,
plan. Excuse
got
me,
a
I'll be
week-
back in 5 minutes.
we've got a free weekend coming up, or a free evening. I think we'll do the exact same thing. I love that plan.
There you go. Good stuff. Good stuff.
I got freezy molds at home or popsicle molds at home. I think we'll do that.
I think that's a great idea.
So
So anybody who's out there in the chat, if you guys want to pop any questions in there for us or got anything you want to discuss, doesn't have to be prepping wise tonight. We're just kind of
This is an
gonna
open
have,
forum.
have the open forum session and we'll just go from there. So what's your plans
I
for
I just realized that you guys were asking what we've done lately for preps.
Yep.
And not too long ago, Eric forwarded me an email from a fellow listener. He's not too far away from where I am. He's actually going to be on I think it's the 2nd of January for animal husbandry.
Oh, yep.
He reached out to Eric to say, hey, Brad's kind of in the same area as I am. Can you forward him some email or so we can get in touch with each other? So we've emailed back and forth. I got him onto our Discord group, and he's been in there a bunch of times. I think he's
Great.
having a good time with it, and I figured I'm thinking of getting a hold of him to set up something to go down and see him in January. See his little bit of a homestead that he's got not too
Fantastic.
far away. Yeah.
That's great.
Excellent.
It's the power. It's the power of community.
Yeah.
We always love having Kyle in the chat. Ian, I can make no promises about what Ian may or may not be wheeling and dealing this week with on CGN, but he was trying pretty hard to get home in time, and the powers of the power of Murphy's Law was keeping him away. So I know he was a little bummed about missing this episode. Ooh, there's a good question from Darius, our good friend here. Have we watched Coast Guard Alaska? I haven't seen any of that. What is it on? Is it like a Discovery
Is it like
Channel?
an A&E type show, or yeah, I've never heard of it actually.
I haven't either, but I also don't have cable, so if it's not on Netflix, there's a good chance I don't know about it. But yeah, that'd be interesting. I also love. I've been catching up on a few episodes of North Shore Rescue out in BC. It's a search and rescue team, and they go do they're out in the mountains doing stuff. It was very cool. And they're saying that it's on YouTube. Cool. I got something to watch, I guess, over the Christmas break. Not that I have much downtime, but I'm like 4 books behind. I still haven't cracked into the into Dr. Alton's book. But that's on my list for over Christmas.
So what
Yeah,
are
Darius,
people's plans for Christmas? Brad, what are you up to?
What's that? Sorry.
What are your plans for Christmas? You have family coming over, or
My in-laws' place on Christmas Day. My parents' place on New Year's Day. Pierre and his wife and another couple are coming over on the 27th, I want to say, 28th. One of those days, the wives have it all figured out. My parents do a traditional, we've been doing it for 25 years now, fondue supper on New Year's Day. So we do everything else separately throughout Christmas, and then go over to their place New Year's Day and do our family Christmas there
now
with them, and then have fondue. Most we've had around the table is 39 people around our table. Oh, see, there we go. 28, Melissa says.
Melissa's got it all under control. That's what really counts.
Yeah, see, there you go. She's got it all under control. And I'm fortunate enough in my job that I've banked, so to speak, enough hours that I can take the entire month of January off and do a whole lot of fix-ups on the house. So I'm happy.
That's amazing.
I'm happy. Longest time I've ever been away from work.
Traditionally slower time for you too?
Yes and no.
Or do you just not care?
I do care. I know I will be.
For the record, he cares.
What's that?
For the record, you care.
Yes, for the record, I care. For anybody who's watching this, that I know, for the record, I care. Other than that, I don't give a shit.
He's only saying that because he's recommended a few people he works with to watch the show, so he doesn't want to get in trouble.
Absolutely. But no, it's kind of slow, but kind of not. It's kind of hit and miss for us a little bit. But there's enough flatbed drivers. I drive a small flatbed. There's enough flatbed drivers that they can pick up the slack. And I have not worked over Christmas in 5 years. So now I'm working over Christmas so they can take some time off. And the boss said that's my only give is you work over Christmas and I'll let you have that month off if you want it. Sweet. Sign me up. Let's go.
All right. Well, that's not bad. What do you have planned? You said a bunch of repairs.
So this beautiful blanket that's behind me is hiding the basement that I have basically destroyed to try to put in our furnace over the summer, which got done. I did not do it; it was professional. But we're building a bedroom in the basement for my son to move from upstairs to downstairs. He has a bigger room. He's matured in more ways than one, and he's needing some bigger space. So we're building him a basement bedroom and
Nice.
building a rec room in the basement along the other half of the basement. So that's the main thing, is to get that done.
He's gonna be the popular kid. He's got a room that's isolated from the parents and a rec room in the basement.
Yeah.
There's gonna be some amazing parties there.
Well, there's only one way in and out of the basement, and it's right next to the living room, so no chance. I control that door.
Keep thinking that.
So one of these days you're gonna want to go out and he'll be home alone, and then he won't be alone for very long.
No. Oh. Yeah, Melissa.
Listen, it's not a blanket, it's a backdrop. Just for the record, it sounds way more professional when you say it that way.
That's right. It's just a backdrop.
It's a backdrop.
Backdrop.
You guys, what are your plans?
I'm well, we had our first Christmas gathering over this past weekend with one side of the family, and my wife's mom was in, and then we'll have, you know, Christmas Day, the kids will be over. The kids will be here from their mom, and my wife's dad will be here, my mom will be here, and we'll have merriment for a few days there, and then we're going to go visit some family about an hour up the road on the 27th. And then I'm still not 100% sure whether I'm working or not between the 27th and the 30th. I'll find out. And then first of the year, I'm off to a new project, so I'll be temporary relocating down the road a couple of hours. So it'll be a new adventure. I'll be off to a border town for a construction project for most of next year. So I'm enjoying as much time off as I can right now, as much time as I have available.
Good.
How about you, Pierre? What are your plans?
Well, from what I know that the plans my wife has made, on the 28th, I'm going over to Brad's. On Christmas, we're home. My sister and her husband came down from the East Coast. I think they showed up last night. So I think Boxing Day, we're going to go see them. I haven't seen them in a little while. And then past that, I got no clue. I haven't been informed of the plans yet.
Have not yet been informed of the plans.
Yeah, no. So, yeah, just some time off, spend some time with the family. The daughter's ecstatic. She's off of school, even though she doesn't like being home right now. But that's a side note. Yeah.
It seems to be a thing that I've got my camera on tonight. I completely forgot to turn it off. That was it. My internet connection is usually not stable enough, so I usually turn it off preemptively. But that's usually when we've got a bigger panel. Maybe something to do with Eric or Ian hosting it. But tonight I seem to be hosting it. Everything seems to be okay, so I'll leave it on when I can.
I blame Eric.
I blame Eric too. I blame Eric for just about everything.
He's got the kill button right in front of him.
Yeah. I genuinely just forgot to turn it off because everything was working okay. Usually it'll start about 3 minutes to showtime. Everything starts bogging down and I start sounding like a robot. So I just turn it off preemptively because it just takes up too much data. Because out here in the country we have I have an antenna that connects to a transmitter, like a transceiver on a radio, like on a water tower about 6 miles away, and that's how I get my internet. It's a radio, and if there are too many people using it, there just isn't enough available. And when the weather is bad, and I don't know if I find it tends to rain a lot on Sunday nights when I want to come on the air, so there's just very little opportunity for me to have my camera on. But tonight the weather's clear, I can see the stars. There doesn't seem to be a lot going on in the neighborhood, and we've only got 4 people on the panel instead of the 5 or 6 that we often have. So everything seems to align for me to have my camera on tonight. So here we are. Welcome to my office. And how about you, Jeff? You said you're visiting your mom.
Yeah, I'm gonna go down to mom's. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go down the day before, like Christmas Eve, or the day before, and then Christmas Day. Gonna take my mom to my brother's in Toronto. As much as I don't like the big smoke, I'll go because mom wants to go. So,
Yep.
and I'll take her there. And there's a possibility of another family gathering, possibly on Boxing Day, depending on everybody's feelings about the good old virus going around. So we'll see.
Susan has a great question. What are your favorite Christmas movies? Um, I have two favorite Christmas movies. The first is Die Hard, and if you think it's not a Christmas movie, I will fight you. I have a 10-point presentation all ready to go about why it is a Christmas movie. And the other one, because I'm a big softie, is my second favorite Christmas movie is Love Actually, and that's my Christmas story. How about you guys, Brad, Jeff? Favorite Christmas movies?
I liked Home Alone Christmas. I thought that was just for the humor part of it and everything. It's I enjoyed that one.
Watching Joe Pesci get smashed in the head
Never gets old.
never gets old.
Yeah, no, for
Yeah.
sure, Die Hard.
Die
Die
Hard,
Hard.
yeah.
And if it's not a Christmas movie, we're gonna watch number 2 as well.
Also a Christmas movie. Begins and ends with Merry Christmas. It is a Christmas movie.
Exactly. It all started in a Christmas party.
That's right. Started a Christmas party, centrally themed around around a family getting together at Christmas, overcoming obstacles together.
And
Scott says
who
Christmas
decided to
Vacation.
bail on us, likes. Oh, you got it. Go ahead.
Scott likes Christmas Vacation. He didn't want to come on. He didn't want to come on the show tonight. He has worse internet than I have, which is why we only see him on Wood Gasifier episodes. But yeah, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation is another family favorite. I think we've seen it 3 times this year already. My wife and I may or may not have matching sweaters that have references to the show. It's another absolute favorite. Brad, what about you? What's your you got a favorite Christmas movie? Brad? I think we lost Brad. I don't know where you went.
I can't hear anybody. Can anybody hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you just fine, Brad. Brad, 2 words. First word sounds like turn up your fucking volume. I don't know what happened to Brad. Brad, if you come back, we miss you. And we've lost Brad entirely. We'll see if he comes back.
So people in the chat, Darius, what's your favorite Christmas movie? We'll put you on the spot.
And Melissa and Hags and Kyle too. Oh, there's Brad. Let's see if we can get him back in here. Brad, Kyle, yes, I did in fact get my wife something other than gas for Christmas. She's within earshot, so I'm not going to talk about it any more than that. But yes, more definitely happened. Brad, are you back? Can you hear us now? Hey, there you are. Are you sure?
Every guy, I see all of you. Every one of you is. Your video keeps doing the
robot. Okay.
Yeah, you
Doing the
guys
robot.
and everybody on my end sounds like they're a robot.
That's all you.
Yeah, that sounds like a you problem.
It's a you problem, not an us problem.
Well done.
So we'll come back to Brad if his internet ever catches up to us. See, this is why I usually have my video off, is because this is what happens to me every single week. see if that helps.
So on the non-Christmas, back to the prepper side of it, Darren G's got a question up there. If we want to comment on shortwave radio for intel gathering.
I mean, it is theoretically because it as long as it's still working, right? As long as your radio is still working, it doesn't rely on any external source. It's a great concept in theory, but everybody has to be on the same channel. Right? Everybody has to be on the same frequencies in order for that to work. So it would take a fair bit of pre-planning, and I mean, there's nothing inherently wrong with that. It's probably more of a local solution than a widespread solution. But just like it was a local solution, that local will expand over time to what we now have as radio networks. So I think it's probably a very good idea. I'm always I think we're pretty adamant that we're all fans of having our ability to work our radios, right, Jeff?
Yep.
And of course testing your gear, but also to make sure that you have a plan of how to use it. Because one thing to say, I've got 35 radios and I can transmit 800 watts and whatever, but if there's nobody listening and you don't know how to find other people, it's pretty well useless. So pre-planning that, very good concept.
Yeah, if you've got a mag and you're all on basically the same page, and I'm the newbie on the radio, so I'm still learning and catching up. Like the shortwave, correct me if I'm wrong, that would be more like the FRS channels in that, the closer together channels. Yes, no? Do you hear me, Alan?
Yep,
Oh,
I hear you
okay.
just fine. Sorry, I was just trying to catch up with Hags. We're
Okay.
still talking about Christmas movies because I called them out on the air there and missed it. So, yeah, there's it's only
so the shortwave is more or less the FRS type channels you're
shortwave is kind of a generic term, right? It can be FRS, it can be VHF, it can be UHF. But shortwave and ham are pretty well interchangeable for most people. So we'll see. I don't know. Just like any other tool, it's only as good as the user. So that's that's kind of my 2 cents on that. Another great question from Scott, who might as well just have joined on the show, I guess. Wish list items from Santa that the panel is hoping for. Gas and ammo, wood gasifiers, CO detectors, which is, where are we? 33 minutes and 2 seconds, Kyle.
Yeah. CGN deals,
yeah. I mean, I'm sure you can buy me pretty well anything off CGN, and I'll be happy with it. No, I would
like to get a mobile ham radio. Get one in my truck. That's my.
Hey, I know where you can get one.
That's my wish. I know where I can get one too. I just gotta do a little bit of finagling around, but that's on the wish list for sooner than later.
I'll send you a picture of my setup once it's in my truck. I'll put it on the Discord in the ham group or the ham thread, because it's mine's like it's really subtle. You don't see it unless you're really looking for it. So, yeah. How about you?
What do you run for an antenna? Do you have the side fender mount, or do you have?
No. So I went out like to great lengths to get the side fender mount, and it doesn't fit my truck. Because mine was redesigned after 2018, and there isn't one. So it's like the 2017 Ram it would fit, but I drive a 2018 and it doesn't fit. So I put a magnet on it, and then I went to put it on the hood, and then discovered that my hood is not magnetic, so I had to put it on the roof and run the wire a different way. Yeah, and I kind of did I found a route through the between the cab and the bed for the wire, and then it kind of goes down under and then into the cab under into the cabin. I found there's a storage compartment in the wheel well, and so I just brought it in that way and then siliconed it into place. So It doesn't rub on anything. It's nice and tidy.
Excellent. Yes, Darius, you need that damn ham license. Get moving.
Darius wants a Petzl helmet. What kind of helmet? Is it for climbing or for rescue, or there's or maybe arboring, because you're asking for a handsaw as well? Petzl makes some really good equipment. That's a solid wish. Hag's looking for Baofeng and better mag mount or better antenna. So all of those things have different connotations. So that's we should get in on the Discord there and find out what you're after, and then we can maybe point you in the right direction for some suggestions, or maybe Sandal will be really good to you. Are you upgrading a Baofeng, or is it like you're turning a Baofeng into like a mobile station? That would be I guess be my follow-up question to that. And Darius is looking for a helmet for climbing and rescue. Good gloves too, right? Petzl makes great gloves for rope handling. They're really, really comfortable and crazy soft, good dexterity. And I think we've just lost Brad. Starting with search and rescue, what items should you get? So I'll give you the same advice that was given to me when I started with search and rescue, which was tailor your kit to the work that you're doing. So there's so CASARA, the Canadian Association of Search and Rescue Associations, I forget exactly what their title is. They have a list that is like coast to coast, Arctic to Victoria Island or Vancouver Island, a list that would cover every possibility, and it is 3 pages long, and you couldn't possibly carry it all, but it would keep you comfortable, safe, and warm for 2 to 3 days wherever you are. My search and rescue team said that's a great list, and if we were deploying elsewhere in the country, you might want to take all of that stuff. But for what we do, pare down your kit to these probably 30 items, and then we did a kit check, and you go out on exercises and kind of figure out what it is that you use, what it is you don't, what you need, what you're missing. What I can tell you for sure is you will always need snacks. You will always need water. You will always need dry socks and underwear. You will always need your notebook. And you will always need a battery pack for your phone, because these things take forever. And if your phone dies, you're just in a worse spot. Like where we operate right in this part of the country, we're never more than about 10 miles from a Tim Hortons, and somebody can always go get us coffee. Like we don't need to be self-sufficient for multiple days. Now that's not to say that there aren't places that can be, right, where you're going off and you're going a day out and a day back, or whatever, or a day out and we'll send a helicopter to pick you up. That does exist as well. That's not where I am. So my kit is really different from somebody who would do that.
That's good.
And I would throw into that. I would add into that a really good, and you mentioned it already, but to confirm it again, is a good pair of gloves, because you never know. You're climbing up and down cliffs. You're grabbing onto maybe trees or some kind of branches, get you up and down, and nothing like a really solid pair of gloves.
Yep, a good pair of gloves. Like I found I had a pair of mechanics gloves, like the mechanics brand, that I had in my first couple of searches. I found them to be a little bit too thin, so I went out and I got some. I got some from Dakota. I got them at Mark's. They're a little bit warmer, and then I got some glove liners because I found that my hands were getting a little bit chilly. The last search I was on, it was fresh snow, and as we were kind of moving things around, my hands got wet really quickly. And that's another really important point, is to be able to layer, because what I found was that when I was out moving, I wanted to have a whole lot less clothing on me, because, well, I'm fat and I produce a lot of heat when I move. But when I'm back at camp, when I was back at staging, waiting for my next assignment, it was really easy to get cold. So I have a nice heavy parka that lives in my truck, and I can just throw it on when I'm standing around, and then take it off and put my high vis on when it's time to go searching. Yeah, so that's there you go. So Kyle's asking, is public search and rescue that's partner with fire or local emergency management? So ours comes under, in Ontario, search and rescue comes under the purview of the local police department. So for most of the province, it's the OPP. For municipal forces, they are all tasked with it. And then search and rescue is an independent third party that volunteers their services to assist the police. That's how it works in Ontario. Other places are different. I know we have a member on our team who is from Saskatchewan. He's from this area, was in Saskatchewan for a while, and their wildfire fighting teams also did search and rescue. So they served dual purpose there, but they were attached to the fire department as opposed to the police department. So every jurisdiction is a little bit different. Ours happens to be police-based, which I'm sure has its merits and its detractors, but it's how things go. And that's where we are. So we work really closely with them, and generally, it's all very cooperative because everybody has their strengths. So at our last search, we had EMS on standby that had a warming station for all the people. Now ours, that was a water-based search. So we were combing the shorelines. We had 9 boats on the water, and that was between police and fire. And fire was and they were both, they're all we're all moving in the same direction, all doing the same job. But police ultimately are the authority having jurisdiction there. Another great question from Darren. Items that you can never stock up on enough of other than TP. Well, we've learned that you can't have enough TP. I would add, instead of TP, I would say wet wipes. Right? If you're gonna have more of something, I think wet wipes are more versatile. And I would also say beef jerky. I don't think you can never have enough beef jerky. Beer. Fuel. What do you guys think? What else can you never have enough of? Girl stuff.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as enough stuff. Yeah, girl stuff. It's as a bunch of guys on a panel, it's really easy to overlook. Some very important factors. So you can never have enough girl stuff, which also, by the way, make great fire starters. So that's another good reason to have lots on hand.
Yeah, no, and I mean, I'll say that could differ between anybody on the panel. I mean, you can never not have enough comfort things, right?
Absolutely.
You like beef jerky. If I don't like beef jerky. For me, let's say I could not have enough M&Ms in my house, right?
Yeah,
might not be good on protein or whatever, but that all depends. I mean, that could be very personal oriented in comparison to survival stuff.
Yep.
But yeah, just whatever, especially if you have kids, whatever you think they're like, this is the food I want, right? Like, no matter how tired and hungry they are, if you can give them a bag of M&Ms and they're happy, you can never have enough, right? As adults, we can all kind of push through it for a few days. But if you've got your kids, right? Kids, just worry about them, get them going.
Absolutely.
And, yeah.
Yep, you're 100% right. Denny, I'm going to guess that you're based in Michigan by saying Myers. Buy 2 get 1 free. That's very cool. That's a great deal. We had a window of about 15 days where it was really simple to get across the border. Now that is no longer the case. So the chance of me going back to Meyer, I was actually at Meyer last week. Week before last. The chance of me getting back there anytime soon are pretty slim. And another one, books. You can never have enough books. I absolutely agree. There's always something more you can learn. and if nothing else, there's always something more you can do. There's something else you can read to pass the time. One of the things that never doesn't get talked about enough is how dull and boring just being stuck in one place and waiting out a problem is. You know, you're stuck in your truck overnight. You're just waiting for the sun to come up so you can see the road again, or a snowplow to come by so you can see the road again. There's nothing else to do. You don't have to be out gathering food and water and whatever. You just have 8 or 10 hours to kill. That's a long time if you don't have something to keep you occupied and keep you entertained, and you can only learn so much, right? It's a great idea to have have things that entertain you as well. So I generally have 3 or 4 books on the go at any given time. One is usually something I'm learning, one is something that advances my career, one is something that advances things that I do for fun, and then something for entertainment, just a novel of some kind. A wide variety of books I think is hugely important.
Yeah, and like Bane Ironhand said, it's not just how-to books.
Yeah,
they're important, but novels, things you like to read, that's what's going to help you to pass the time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It makes the day less bad, and especially something you've read before and you like. It brings a lot of comfort too, because you've had all the time, like, you know what's coming up. It's comforting, it's reassuring, it feels familiar. I think it's a great idea. No, I'm 100% on board with that.
Yeah, for sure. Something reading a book. I normally try to read a book every time I'm in the tree stand hunting for bear. That still hasn't happened.
What, the hunting or the reading?
The actually getting the bear. I've been
actually getting the bear. It's just too much time reading. You're not paying attention to what's going on around.
Oh no, there's just no bears that came out the last 2 years. There's just been no activity, do anything and everything. But hey, it's still nice to get a week off. Normally, it's just me and my wife. We go up in a buddy's property and we just get a week off. Right? Like, we have our phones, we've got our radios. Like, if there's an emergency, okay, call, we'll leave. But other than that, it's just sitting around and it's nice and quiet for a week. It's awesome.
I love that. That's the second best part of Canada. Second best part of hunting.
Yep.
We lost Brad, but we picked up Darius. I appreciate that, Darius. Come on in. Welcome.
Oh, hey, you made it.
No problem.
Right.
I suppose that works out.
And Hank says you can never have enough water.
Didn't notify me.
And water cleaning methods. Absolutely. Berkey water filter systems. Get those at Rapid Survival. Or you could buy a life straw. just to make Ian cringe.
Yeah, no, Berkeys are awesome. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't have the full size Berkey, but I've got just lost my. I've got the Sport Berkey. I got obviously from Rapid Survival, and it's just a sport water bottle, but it's good for 140 refills, and gets rid of 99% of the microorganisms and 97% of the viruses. So,
nice.
I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna take water out of a pond that's sitting beside a cow field, but if there's what looks like clean water running down a stream or something, I'll certainly fill it up.
Yeah,
nice. No, we've got the big 6-gallon one, and
they're nice.
Oh yeah, and we unfortunately live on city-ish water, but they pump so much chlorine and everything through it that, like, you turn the tap on and you can smell it, you can taste it or whatever. So we bought the extra filters that you screw on the bottom to take all that out, and buddy, it's fantastic.
It's nice.
I'm really lucky that we get we have fantastic water here. It doesn't taste like chlorine, doesn't taste like chemicals. It's clean. It's delicious. So Susan also asked, what books are we currently reading? I have a bunch on the go. So I have the Survival Medicine Handbook from Dr. Alton and Nurse Amy. They were on a few months back, about 6 weeks ago maybe. I have that I've kind of been going through. I want to. It's definitely more of a reference book than a cover to cover reader, but still want to know what's in there. I also just picked up visual man tracking for search and rescue. So looking at developing my tracking skills, which is just all kinds of fun, anyways. I've noticed a lot of similarities between hunting and search and rescue. It's a lot of the same principles, just with very different planned outcomes. I also just got a book by I'd have to go find it. His name is Mike Simpson, Dr. Mike Simpson, he's a former combat medic. He turned into a trauma doctor. He's got some very cool stories, and his book is very specifically about being the best kind of version of yourself over 40. So I'm turning 40 this year. So he's also like me. He does jujitsu, although he does it much better than I do. He does a lot of training and a lot of weightlifting and things, and he's somebody I follow very closely. I respect everything that he says. So I bought his book, partly to support him, but partly to kind of dive into what he says. And then I've got I actually don't have a novel on the go right now, but I do have a kind of a novella with I forget the author, but it's a kind of a dive into a bunch of Cold War spy stories. So spies that got caught, spies that got away, how they were
cool.
caught. It's really entertaining.
Nice.
How about you guys? What are you reading right now? Darius?
Right now, I'm actually just waiting to get the next book in the Extinction Cycle that I've been reading by Nicholas Sansbury Smith. So, which, funny enough, is all about kind of a viral pandemic that breaks out, but it breaks out in a major metropolis and creates monsters out of everybody it infects.
So it's like an I Am Legend kind of.
Similar. Yeah, it's
Right on.
Absolutely incredible series, and can't say enough about the author. The knowledge that he gets when he puts into every one of his books is incredible. He actually writes or has a virologist co-write this with him.
Cool.
And just so all of the premise behind it is out of medical research papers with the information slightly twisted so that it's not actually possible. But all of the ideas behind it are actual from medical papers, and all the research and such inside of it could be accurate in how they go about.
Very cool. So it's been changed just enough to not be real, but the concepts are there.
Yeah, exactly. The
what was the name of that author?
Nicholas Sansbury Smith.
I'll just put that in the chat here. Did I spell that right?
Yep.
Perfect.
And he also does a series called Trackers, which is about EMP.
Oh, well, that's also topical.
Yeah.
How about you, Jeff? What are you reading?
Nothing right now. I'll be honest, I'm not that much of a book reader.
Still reeling from the study material for the ham test?
Oh yes, yeah, that too. If nothing turned me off of books, that certainly did. But if anybody's got anything decent to read, and doesn't have to be prepper or underworld related or whatever, but it's just not my thing. But I'll read them. I mean, I read the 1 second after we did, and I've read a couple other ones, but
Fantastic. I really enjoyed the we did on the other CPP book club. It was the Way of Men. I really enjoyed that. It was it was more of a confirming what we already do, but it was good to know that you're not alone.
The Way of Men?
The Way of Men. Yep.
Okay, I'll look it up.
It's a little out of reach. Little out of reach of my bookshelf right now, but that's that was a good one. How about you, Pierre? What are you reading right now?
Right now, reading the book we are currently doing on the other CPP, which is the United States Marine Corps Guide to Counterinsurgency.
Ooh.
So, which, all depending how everything goes, could be some potential useful info. But no, I've got a few books upstairs there. I've been starting to pick them up. I'm not a big reader. I'm very slow at reading, and I get reading puts me to bed. So I need to find books that don't have long chapters. Like,
right.
If I'm reading, like, I can't stop midway through the chapter. I have to finish the chapter, and when the chapter's done, I can put it down. So if like a chapter is like 60 pages long, I'm doomed. I'll never get to that before I fall asleep. So, but yeah, so I've been pushing more reading lately due to the other CPP and doing a few of their monthly books and everything. And these are the next few ones are kind of small, so I want to try and squeeze in another one or two.
Nice.
Just fiction books. I'm a fan of Andy McNabb's series. I've got his first 2-3 books here. We did one of his books, and I'm down for pretty much anything.
He does a really good video series as well.
Yeah. So, yeah, but so that's what it is. That's where we're going with that.
Ian recommends pop-up books. And especially the ones that have the little pull tab on them, so the pop-up moves when you play with it.
Yeah, the next one that I'm hoping I can get here pretty quickly is None Braver. I've had it recommended to me countless times. So that one is stories of the PJs or pararescue.
Oh, cool. Very cool. That's that's a field of study all to itself.
Yeah. This one specifically in Iraq, Afghanistan, the first group of PJs who went in to help.
Settle the area. That'd be a fascinating read too. Absolutely. Yeah. And of course, when I don't know what to read, I always go for Jocko. Pick up Extreme Ownership or Leadership Strategies and Tactics.
Two on my list.
Yeah, pick up any of those. Those are great. Some of the stories
reading
there.
is not your thing, like Freya says, try audiobooks.
Audiobooks, absolutely.
Yep. If you're driving a long distance or something, plop your earbuds in and.
Yeah, or even some podcasts.
Yeah.
All depending on the certain podcast. Like I've listened to 6-hour podcast. I mean, yes, according, like it wasn't a full 6 hours of them sitting down, like all the edits or whatever, but like 3 hours, all depending if it's what your interests are or whatever. Like I'm very kind of fortunate that I can make up my own schedule for work, and some days like I literally drive 3 hours to do like a 2-minute repair because nobody explains it properly and nobody can understand what I'm saying. So I literally drive like 3.5 hours to do like 4 minutes of work, and then I drive back 3.5 hours. So, some days it's not what it is. Like some days I'm in and out of the truck every 20 minutes, but like on those long distance, all I do now is just download podcasts galores and just listen to those. So if you can find a good podcast as well as audiobooks, I mean,
100%.
Definitely. Yeah.
I'm well, my new job will have me driving about 2 hours each way, 2 to 3 times a week. So I'll stay there and then stay here. And it's I've got a whole list of podcasts can't wait to catch up on. I've got 4 hours of windshield time, and it's a great time to learn something new and listen to another perspective. That's happy to do that. Love that.
Yeah, if you're looking for another good podcast to listen to while you're traveling, search up Modern Day Sniper.
Yeah, that was good. Another good one on top of that is the Jack Ryan show. Or no, not Jack Ryan.
Is that the Tom Clancy character?
SEAL. Yeah, that's why I'm like, I fucked that up. Sean Ryan.
Okay, yep.
Yeah. But he has a lot of so those are the ones where I listen to a 6-hour podcast. He has 2, 3, 4-6 hour podcasts, and they can get very in depth.
Wow.
So, yeah, there's like we'll talk offline, but like there's a few of them that I'm like, man, just download these two. If you like those two, I'm listening to this whole backlog now, and yeah, there's like 3-hour episodes, and some of the stuff is just unbelievable how he can find people and what they're talking about or whatever. But it's a fantastic show. Yeah.
Another one, if you're looking for long ones that can just eat up entire years, is History of World War II podcast by Ray Harris Jr.
Oh,
The detail he goes into is like I don't even know where he finds half the information he has. He also gets on guest speakers from all over the world to talk about it. I know one of the episodes he actually had a researcher who had studied the night witches from Russian Air Force and actually had one-on-one conversations with a couple of them before they passed away.
Sorry, that was History of World War II podcast?
Yeah,
And
History of World War II podcast by Ray Harris Jr.
The show notes as well. I do like my World War II history. That'll definitely be one to look up.
Yeah, I pretty much live off podcasts when I take transit to and from work every day, so I'll listen to hours of podcasts today.
Nice.
So I have about 8 that I go through, and I just cycle through all the newest episodes of them. Another big one for anybody who likes hunting is Cutting the Distance with Remy Warren. And that one will teach you anything you need to know about hunting pretty much any game in the world.
I'm putting all those up in the chat, so they'll be available to anybody that wants to see it. I'll figure out how to put that in the show notes. You know what? I'm not even going to pretend that I know how to do that. So I'm going to let Eric do that. Make him work for this. Because yeah, it's great. And you know what? I think we found a new channel or a new thread for our Discord server. Put in our favorite podcasts, because there are a lot of great suggestions in here. And yeah, that one on there's one on Spycraft, Spycraft 101. I think that Denny and I are probably listening to the same one. So Kyle's asking about decent wireless headphones. I've got a pair in here somewhere. I actually got these fairly recently. They're by Skull Candy, and they've got the little charging case with them and everything. These I find are super comfortable. The batteries last forever in them, and I'm a huge fan of these. The sound quality is absolutely fantastic. So these came from Skull Candy. These were I think I had like a 40% off coupon from Roll Up the Rim from Tim Hortons. And so I think these were probably about $30 by the time that was done.
Are those the noise canceling ones?
Yeah, these are noise canceling. So they I don't hear a damn thing outside of what I'm listening to.
And now I know
what's the name of them again, Alan?
These are from Skull Candy.
Skull Candy. Okay.
Yeah, and this is my second pair of Skull Candy wireless headphones, and they're like I'm not a huge fan of brands for the sake of brands, but I've had great experience with those both times.
Yeah, because my wife was actually recently looking for good noise canceling ones, and she found the ones on Skull Candy, and she was like, well, it's a fairly good company that you're probably not going to get garbage. Yeah, so it's nice to hear that they're actually pretty good. So now I know what I'm going to be going shopping for tomorrow.
Yeah, and I ordered those online. I had them. I had them in like 3 days. Like they were so fast. And yes, Melissa, they are noise canceling. So they block out all the sound around me. They're great.
It's an issue I haven't had in a long time is headphones. Now that I have hearing aids, they're all Bluetooth built in and everything else. So I never have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah, well, you've got definite advantage there, I guess, or at least it's a simplification. Yeah.
And of course, Alan, you knew the question was going to come up from Freya. Does it cancel your carbon monoxide alarm? Can you say it?
aside from testing it, which I do on a monthly basis, my steel alarms have never gone off because I maintain my appliances. So I wouldn't know. But like where my rowing machine is in my basement, because my garage is not ready yet. Where my rowing machine is in the basement, there's a dehumidifier that kind of runs about 10 feet behind me, and I can't hear it at all when I've got my headphones in. Like I can hear it from here right now because I've got these plugged into my laptop. But when I have those noise canceling headphones in, like the Skull Candy, I don't hear it at all. I should test that. I should find out whether that happens or not. I do know that I can hear my pager right when my fire pager goes off, because that's happened. But no, it's pretty good at keeping the outside world outside. That's a great question.
You had to know it was going to happen.
It was going to happen no matter what. I think this is only our second mention of carbon monoxide in an hour and 6 minutes. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are great. And they like the case is actually a charger as well. So like these will go 2 weeks between charges, and then I just plug it into a micro USB for a few minutes, and they're charged again.
Nice.
Ready to go for another couple of weeks. So they're these are a great investment. They were not expensive, right? They were in a ton of money, and then they're great quality for what they are.
That's good. Good to know.
Because my opinion matters in any way, you give us my stamp of approval.
Huh. But it's good to know, right? If you can get an honest opinion compared to reviews online, like are they legit? Are they not? But like someone that's actually used it and said, "Hey, they've worked fantastic for me." I mean, yes, take that with a grain of salt, but it's good to know that someone's used them and they tend to work. So that's good to know.
Kyle's asking if I know the model. I don't off the top of my head. I will look that up because I don't have the confirmation email. I will look that up. I'll put it in the Discord server somewhere where you can find it, and I will tag you in it so that you can see it.
But I will tag me in it because my wife wants to know as well.
I'll tag both you and Kyle in it so that you can see that.
You're talking about shopping, and she's talking about Christmas ideas by the looks of it.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
That's a good enough excuse for it.
I still got a few good days.
Right on, guys. Well, we're an hour and 8 minutes into talking about absolutely nothing. It feels like a Seinfeld marathon. So what do you think we should we move on to the upcoming events, of which there may or may not be any?
Sure.
Well, we've got a podcast challenge too.
Oh, we do have a podcast challenge. Is it in there?
And that is simply to everyone have a Merry Christmas and spend some time with your family and just try to forget about a lot of the crap that's going on in the world right now. Just take a few days for yourself and relax and take it easy.
Absolutely. And let us know what you did. You can shoot us an email, feedback@prepperpodcast.ca, or find us on the Discord server. Link will be in the show notes for that when the show notes eventually come out. But that is a great challenge. It's something that we don't do enough of, just because we don't. It's been, especially the last couple of years, have been so trying for so many people. But I like that, Jeff. I'm sorry I didn't see that you put that in there.
No, that's okay.
But relax and enjoy yourselves. Upcoming events, check out mapleseedrifleman.com/events. They may or may not be doing things. Kyle is suggesting maybe we do a Prepper podcast meetup. Yes, I love that idea. We would. I think we'll try and do that. Let's try and scoot under the government's radar and do something that's not going to get us in trouble. So when venues allow, I think that's a great idea. And worst case, we'll just meet up in a big field and damn the man. But I think that's a great idea. We'll maybe talk about that when the weather gets a little nicer somewhere in South Central Ontario. Oops. So upcoming events, they may or may not exist. Depends on what the government does this week and why they do it. Deal of the week. Everything's on sale. It's Boxing Week starting up soon. So that's, look around. Princess Auto always has great stuff on sale. But look for those flyers. I've got nothing for shoutouts. I mean, except for Kyle, because I always love when Kyle gets in the chat. It's fantastic. Anybody else?
I'm going to shout out to everybody who is on the podcast. So Alan, Darius, Eric, who's not here, Scott, Pierre
Who's
for
not
coming
here.
on, all of our guests.
Ian, who's not here. Brad, who's not here.
Brad, who's not here. Yeah. I've only been on it for probably about 6 months, and I've learned a hell of a lot. And we've got a bunch of really smart people on here, and so I just want to make sure that I convey my thanks to everybody for the information provided. And Kyle's right, Ian. Who's that?
Exactly. the unicorn, the great unicorn hunter is at it again. No, I'll echo that too. Like this, the group of people that we chat with, either that actually come on the air or the people that get in the live chat. It just it's a ton of fun. Makes for a great Sunday evening, and it's been a highlight for me, anyways, for the last couple of years as things have been a little bleak, to say the least. Anybody else for shoutouts?
I've got nothing.
Thanks for having me on. I know we've all had it on our group chat, and I know a few of you have been on the other CPP that I participate on a lot more. But thanks for the invite. It's been good. I've tried to keep it kind of a non-political. So I've tried to be good. I've tried to be good. I think I did okay.
It's hard. I know.
I think you did a great job. But it is really tough to separate those two sometimes, especially when one is a direct cause of the other in a lot of cases.
Yeah, but no, it was good.
So to all the listeners, those joining us in the live chat, everybody will be listening to this afterwards. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever it is you celebrate, and I hope that this season finds you all healthy and happy and well set. And I hope you get to take some time, fulfill Jeff's challenge, right? Rise to Jeff's challenge, and take it easy, relax a little bit. And I think with that, we should bring episode 142 of the Canadian Prepper Podcast to an end. 142 episodes. Look at that. You can find the Prepper Podcast on iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, and or whatever other favorite podcast app you may have. Please help us out. Submit a review from whatever of those. It helps other people find us.
And we record these shows live on Facebook and YouTube. If you want an early peek at the show, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, Canadian Prepper Podcast, and click the notifications tab. That gives you an alert when we are going live. If you want to contact me, you can reach me at just at feedback@prepperpodcast.ca. And if Eric ever comes back, he'll make sure I get the message.
Well, Eric gave me the password to that email, so I can probably help you out with that too. Now, I've probably changed it since then, but he did give me the password. If you want to reach me, you can find me at Alan. That's with one L at prepperpodcast.ca.
If you want to reach me, feel free to head over to the Prepper Podcast Discord, and you can chat with me there pretty much every day.
There you go.
Oh man, I gotta find.
And Kyle is the winner today.
Kyle wins.
If you need to reach Ian, email him at parttimepodcast@diunicorn.com.
Oh man, that's Kyle, that's fantastic.
That's classic.
Part-time podcaster via unicorn.com. That's great. And you can find most of the things that we talked about tonight on Rapid Survival at www.rapidsurvival.com. That's also the best place to find Eric most of the time on the live chat. Buy some of your gear. You can also find Eric at feedback@prepperpodcast.ca. Thanks for joining us.
Pierre.
As always, we appreciate it. Until next time, be prepared, stay safe.
And keep learning. But I was going to say, Pierre, where can people reach you? I know you do your business there with your shirts and stuff. So
Yes. Yeah. Off the wall customizing. Send an email, offthewallcustomizing@gmail.com. We're on Instagram, whatever social thing you'll probably be dealing with my wife, but she's good. We both do this. We can make custom shirts, pretty much anything you can think of. Or you can find me on the other CPP tomorrow night at 9 o'clock on YouTube as well, where we get more political, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
Where
you
we
could say that, I
recognize
guess.
the
Yeah.
source of the problems.
Yes. Yes.
Gotcha. So until then, stay safe, have fun, and keep learning.